Hi, so another topic that I wanted to cover while I'm talking about pregnancy and while I'm putting together this little series is foods that you are not allowed to eat during pregnancy. Foods that you should avoid or that you absolutely cannot eat, like it's a no-no, especially in the first 12 weeks. The rules kind of loosen up after 12 weeks, but in the first 12 weeks I wanted to know because I was waiting for my doctor's appointment, I was waiting for my midwife appointment, and I didn't have any idea of what I was allowed to eat or what I should be eating, and it was really panicking me because I was thinking, oh, am I going to poison my baby without even realising it, which is daft. But I just wanted to know the rules about what I can and can't eat, and the problem is they change the rules quite a lot. I mean, over the years I'm sure you'll have plenty of advice from older people like your mum or your auntie or your nan or your friends or your cousins. Everyone's got an opinion, and the problem is they've changed the rules that many times on what you are and aren't allowed that it can be really confusing. So I just wanted to clear that up for you straight away and just put your mind at ease a little bit. So it's 2017 now, so I got my advice in 2016, but it's still the same. My midwife hasn't told me about any changes as yet. So in the first 12 weeks you do have to be a little bit more careful, as I said. When I looked on Google, because I did obviously your Google search, anything you don't know. When I looked on Google, there wasn't really a list of you cannot eat these foods. There was foods to avoid and foods to limit, but there was no clear do not eat this. I expected to have a list as long as my arm of foods that you cannot eat. And to be honest, I was hoping for it because my diet is pretty much, well, before I was pregnant, it's completely changed now, but before I was pregnant it was a lot of fish, like a lot of fish, a lot of cheese, stuff like that. So I wanted to know for definite, can I or can I not eat these things? Because I wasn't just eating them a little bit, I was eating them in large quantities. So the number one only thing you cannot eat, do not eat it while you're pregnant, is liver. Okay, and that's because it's got a really high content of vitamin A, which can cause all kinds of problems for your baby. So liver is actually the only number one. Even alcohol, which my midwife, at the moment the guidelines are that you can have up to 2 units of alcohol per week, which I don't really do. It's up to you if you want to do that. I just would rather be safe than sorry, and they keep changing the rules, so I haven't gone down that route. But if you want to, then that's fine. That's the guidelines at the moment. So even alcohol you're allowed in small doses at the moment, but liver you are not allowed. Vitamin A, apparently, I'm not a medical professional, I'll just say that straight away. I'm not a medical professional, this is just my own research or what other people have told me. So by all means go and do your own research, don't take my word as gospel. This is just what I've come up with. So liver has really high amounts of vitamin A. Also check the vitamins that you're taking, because I don't really like taking tablets. So when I had to take folic acid in my first 12 weeks, I got myself off the internet some chewable vitamins, and they were like pregnancy vitamins, because you don't just take folic acid, you can get the Pregnacare vitamins or plenty of other vitamins where they've got other things in that you might need in early pregnancy, and obviously you want to get as much goodness as you can. So I got myself some special vitamins off the internet, but they were from America and they contained vitamin A. I didn't realise this until a couple of weeks in, and then I took them into my midwife and she said under no circumstances should you be having any vitamin A. It was in quite a small quantity and I've been checked, the baby is fine, but you should just avoid vitamin A because it doesn't break down in your body stores it, and it can just cause all kinds of problems, especially in early pregnancy. So that is the number one and only, absolutely not, no liver, which was devastating for me because I love pate. I don't really eat liver on its own, but I do love pate, so I've had to go through Christmas without my pate, but you know, it'll be worth it in the end. It's only 9 months of your life. So yeah, vitamin A and liver, avoid it like the plague. The other thing, which is pretty much a hard and fast no throughout pregnancy, but it's more of a precaution than a definite harm to your baby, is soft, unpasteurised cheeses. So no brie, no camembert, no goat's cheese. Basically, these are susceptible to a certain bacteria that can hurt your baby. So it's just best to completely avoid them throughout your whole pregnancy. No soft cheeses. Sorry about that, cheese lovers. Also, anything that could possibly give you food poisoning, if you just think along those lines, then you will be safe. Anything that you could possibly get food poisoning from, that you, if you weren't pregnant, might take the chance on, you need to completely avoid during pregnancy. So no rare meat whatsoever. You shouldn't really have anything with blood in it. It needs to be well done. No runny eggs. You need to make sure that your eggs are cooked really well, especially in the UK. I think the UK eggs are alright at the moment. There's no salmonella in them, but just in case, you should always make sure that your eggs are thoroughly cooked. Same goes with chicken. You know, there's high chance of food poisoning with chicken. Make sure, I would rather have rubbery chicken than food poisoning or anything that could damage my baby. So make sure everything is thoroughly cooked. Also, salad bars. I went on an all-inclusive holiday not long after I found out that I was pregnant, which was a bit rubbish because I couldn't drink, but also a lot of the food at these all-inclusive resorts is buffet style. So anything that's been in water, especially abroad, but even here, if it's sat on a counter, if it's sat out for a little while, do not eat it. If you want to make salad at home, that's absolutely fine, make it fresh, but do not eat anything that's been sitting on a buffet counter for an hour or so, because it can grow bacteria which can damage the baby. Also, you want to avoid on salad counters again, or if you don't know how it's been stored, don't eat it, is smoked salmon or prawns. Okay, you just want to avoid eating anything that you can't see yourself where it's come from, unless it's come out of your own fridge or unless it's cooked really hot. So if you're having hot prawns, then you're fine. I still would avoid them in the first 12 weeks just to be safe. I mean, to be honest, I was so sick in the first 12 weeks with morning sickness that it didn't bother me at all to not eat these things, because I could barely eat anything. All I was eating was cereal, that's it. So I stuck to cereal. But I would just give it a miss until after 12 weeks. It's not that long out of your life, and you know, you've got peace of mind. What else? So we've done smoked salmon, prawns, salads. Oh yeah, that's another big one. So while I was on my all-inclusive holiday, of course they have all-inclusive ice cream. So ice cream is safe from your own freezer, from a tub. Or if it was a cornetto, for example, or a Mars ice cream, you're safe, you're perfect, you can have as many ice creams as you want. If you are on an all-inclusive holiday, or if you're going to an ice cream shop, you can't have the ice cream from there. Basically, what they do is they leave the scoops in water, I think it is. Not sure what it is, but it's really susceptible to grow the same bacteria that can food poison you and really hurt your baby. So no scooped ice cream, no soft scooped ice cream from anywhere that isn't your own home. Just avoid it. And to be honest, that is it really. There's a lot of things that they say you should have in moderation, such as fish. There's some types of fish that are high in mercury, which isn't good for your baby, but we're talking like swordfish. Tuna, I ate a lot of tuna. Before I was pregnant, I had like tuna sandwiches every day. So they say you should limit yourself to one tin, like one little tin of tuna a week. I had less than that just because, you know, I like to be different and I like to worry more. But they say one tin of tuna a week at the moment. since 12 weeks have passed, I've been a bit more lax. My tastes have changed anyway. I tend to instinctively want the safer foods. So yeah, just check the mercury content of certain types of fish, but mostly you can eat whatever you want outside of what I've just said, as long as it's in moderation. Do not binge on one thing. Do not have loads of one thing, because for one, you need to get all your nutrients, you need to get all your vitamins, and for two, you know, too much of anything probably has something in that could hurt the baby. So I'd say just try and have a varied diet. Obviously try and be a bit healthy. Sometimes that's easier said than done, especially if you're having cravings, especially if, you know, one thing I will say is that you need a lot of carbs when you're pregnant. They'll tell you that in all the books. You need carbs, you need calcium, so you can have cheese, hard cheeses, milk. As I say, I've been living off cereal. I'll have my breakfast, lunch, dinner and like 4 bowls of cereal in between with loads of milk, because you build in a child. So you need to get lots of carb building, loads of energy. You need to get calcium for those bones, so your baby will be happy and healthy. So I hope that's covered some of the basics for you until you get in to see your midwife or until you get further advice. Pick up some books. I'd say Google is just too confusing because it's worldwide and because it's filled with opinions. You need to just go straight to the source. Ask your midwife, that's the best. So give this video a like if it's helped you out, and let any other new mums know about it if you think this could help them too. Leave any questions down below. I'm thinking of doing a pregnancy Q&A for anyone that wants to know anything. I can't tell you anything about when you actually have the child because I haven't had my child yet, but I'm sure I'll learn that as I go. So just yeah, anything you want to know, pop it down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or if you'd like to see a beauty tutorial or something like that, let me know that too. I'm really enjoying filming this little series for you. I think you can probably tell I can talk for Britain on this subject. So yep, just let me know and I'll see you all soon. Bye.